Hey guys, Dean of DVD here, and about ready to do a top 10 directors, Hollywood directors. And the reason I say Hollywood directors as opposed to just saying directors, if I open it up to international directors, and I got my Criterion collection up here, you know, I've got to go through the Kurosawas and the Desikas, and there's just so many directors. Ozu, there's just a ton. And in order to do that, in order to do justice to that, I'm just looking over half these. You know, I don't even know where to begin. You know, Bergman, just a ton of international directors. So I'm going to stick with Hollywood directors for now, or U.S. directors, however you want to say it. But those that made American movies, English-speaking movies, and then perhaps I'll go on and do something international separately from this. All right. Well, first of all, I've got some honorable mentions. So let me go through the honorable mentions first. The first honorable mention I have is Oliver Stone. You know, he's done Platoon, Wall Street, Born on the 4th of July, The Doors movie, which I actually like, JFK movie, which I like, Natural Born Killers, Nixon, Any Given Sunday, Oliver Stone's America, and others, but those are probably the biggest. And so that's, anyway, Oliver Stone. Yeah. That is an honorable mention. Put that back. Okay. Now, my other honorable mentions, I've got three of them, is director who I admire a lot because of he's just innovative and kind of cool, and his collection's right here. I'm talking about John Cassavetes. This is a 5 films collection, which includes three of the movies that I think are some of his best, which is Shadows, A Woman Under the Influence, and The Killing of a Chinese Bookie. All classic. The thing that he did, a lot of directors weren't able to do, is get performances out of their actors and actresses that were really, you know, from the gut. I may move him up farther on the list from an honorable mention into my top 10 at some point. I'm going to rewatch these movies. I remember when I first saw him, it was like it hit me in the gut. You know, it was like, wow, you know, this is an intense performance. Gina Rowlands, who was his wife in particular, but everybody who stars in this. Peter Falk was in it. In some of his movies, there's just a wide variety of people who kind of. The only problem with Cassavetes is that most of them are low budget films, because he acted in order just to fund his own films. But a lot of admiration for him. Truly an auteur in the way of directing. John Cassavetes, honorable mention, but like I said, he could easily go up the list at any time. Okay. My last honorable mention, and I've got a ton of his films, most of them under the Criterion collection. Let me just grab one here for now. Let's see if I find the other real quick. Well, here's one of them. That's Charlie Chaplin. This is The Great Dictator, which is kind of a little more serious. It's a comedy, but a little more serious film. It's the only film he ever spoke in, to my knowledge. And he does a impassioned speech during it. And the other one I have here is someplace. Here it is. Modern Times. I have both these on Criterion. I'd like to get some others, Gold Rush and some others, but these are both, of course, silent movie, and this was not a silent movie, but just wonderful, wonderful movies. A wonderful director. Well deserving of all the accolades he got kind of after his, toward the end of his career. He was recognized by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, well deservedly. Okay. Now we get into the top 10. Those are my three, Oliver Stone, Cassavetes, and Chaplin are my three runners-up, if you will. Now, number 10... let's see, what do I do with him? They're just somewhat strategically placed here on my shelves. Whoops, not that one. Okay, get ahead of myself with that one. Here we go. This director has, just a ton of great movies, including one of my favorites and some others that, from the Forever Maryland disc, Some Like It Hot and The 7-Year Itch, which are two of the better movies off this. It's Billy Wilder as the director. He's my number 10. And the movie that he made that I think is just a classic, and he's made a bunch of classic movies, but the one that jumps out here is Sunset Boulevard, which is just an amazing film. If you have never seen Sunset Boulevard, you really owe it to yourself. This is the DVD with a ton of extras, but certainly the Blu-ray's out as well. I just happen to like the DVD, so... the Maryland is the Blu-ray. It looks just the same size as the DVD, but it is a Blu-ray, believe it or not. Yeah. Okay, so Billy Wilder is my number 10 director, and I think deservedly so. Throw it up there. Okay, number 9 is, legendary director, and really he's done a lot of good films, but for me, here he is. Pardon my face. The two that stand out for me, or the three, I guess, that stand out for me, it's Francis Ford Coppola. And we're talking about Apocalypse Now. This, of course, the Steelbook. The best Vietnam film, in my mind. And one of the greatest films of all time. Apocalypse Now. Of course, Marlon Brando and a young Martin Sheen. This movie almost didn't get made for a million different reasons. And... yeah, there's a whole making of, and look it up sometime. There's tons of reasons why this film almost didn't get made. And, of course, do I have to say with the other ones? The Godfather 1 and 2, and even 3, 3's not 1 or 2, no doubt, but it's not a terrible movie. It's just not Godfather 1 or 2. Comparatively, it's a bad movie, but if it on its own, it wouldn't be that bad. And it certainly has some moments in it, so... Francis Ford Coppola for Godfather and Apocalypse Now and Godfather 2 and other movies. Okay, he was in at number 9. Number 8, I debated this one quite a bit, but I'm going to put him at number 8. He could easily go up depending on what day it is of the week, but I'm talking about Stanley Kubrick. A lot of people would put him up a lot higher than I have him at 8. And the list of the movies he's, Spartacus, Lolita, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, 2001: A Space Odyssey, A Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon, The Shining, Full Metal Jacket, Eyes Wide Shut. A great list of movies from a fantastic director, Stanley Kubrick. For me, he's in at number 8. This is a great box set, by the way, if you ever get a chance to pick it up. I don't know what it's selling for, but it is a good box set, so keep your eyes open for that one if it ever goes on sale. Here's another guy that could have gone up, no doubt. And I've got a ton of his movies, but I'm just going to show 2. I own a lot more than this. The director is Martin Scorsese, and I'm going to show Raging Bull, one of my favorite movies, Robert De Niro. Just a great movie. Great biography, if you will, of the legendary boxer Jake LaMotta, and De Niro's performance is just amazing in this. So, yeah, I would say it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's up there. And another great movie, one of the best I've ever seen, is this one, Goodfellas. As much as I like The Godfather, I like this one more sometimes. I mean, it depends on my mood. Of course, this one narrated by Ray Liotta, certainly shows the small town or small time hustler side. But also shows that there's benefits to be had from being in or being with organized crime. So, Goodfellas, Raging Bull. I've got Taxi Driver. I mean, there's just a ton of great Scorsese movies. King of Comedy. Can go on and on. The Departed, of course. So he's in at number 7. Now, number 6. It's going to be Frank Capra. And Frank Capra, of course, everybody knows It's a Wonderful Life. Great movie with Jimmy Stewart. Another one with James Stewart in it is Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Of course, it was Mr. Deeds Goes to Town with Gary Cooper. And really just there's a slew of movies that Frank Capra has done. I like his movies because there's kind of an everyman quality to them. And yet, there's just a heroism and a simplicity that I just love his movies. So, Frank Capra. Of course, this is my list. Your list, I'm sure, would be different. But for me, he's number 6. Number 5, and he would be number 1, maybe, if the studios didn't screw with him. Where are you? Okay, here we go. That is Orson Welles. Of course, Citizen Kane. But he also made The Magnificent Ambersons, which is a great movie. He made what else am I thinking of here? Mr. Arkadin, which got bastardized by the studio. Touch of Evil, which I own, which is a great movie, also got bastardized. F is for Fake. And Orson Welles, he made a movie with huge stars. Something about the wind. Color of the Wind? Can't remember exactly. Because it's never been made. He started filming it in the, I believe in the 70s, early 70s. It's never been put out. I think Citizen Kane, one of the greatest movies, probably the greatest movie ever made for a lot of reasons. One of the best directing jobs. It's the only one he had total control over. Everything he made after this, the studio bastardized. Somewhat of a perfectionist, took his time. The studios didn't want to wait for a lot of it, so I think that was part of his problem. But Citizen Kane, for me, is enough reasons to put him in at number 5, but no higher. Number 4, Broadway Danny Rose, Crimes and Misdemeanors. Hannah and Her Sisters. Some more modern movies. I've got 2 here. I've got others, but I've just grabbed 2 of the Blu-rays. Annie Hall and Manhattan. And of course, I'm talking about Woody Allen. I love Woody Allen movies. He's got a sense of humor that, for me, is classic. These are great romantic comedies. Or this is a great look at New York. Of course, Woody Allen, a big-time New Yorker. Big fan of both these movies. And really, just about everything he does. He's still making movies. So, he is in at number 4. Number 3 is going to be somebody who is familiar to a lot of people. There's just a slew of movies I could talk about here. Indiana Jones, the whole Empire of the Sun, E.T., Jaws, Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, and soon to be Jurassic Park 4. Here's the trilogy on the Steelbook. That's kind of a rare one. Tons of movies. I like most movies he's done, and the list goes on and on. Steven Spielberg, for me, is number 3. Number 2, and I really thought about putting him number 1, but I didn't. But number 2 is going to be Clint Eastwood, and here's the 20-disc. I don't see this too often. This is the 20-disc box set. Mystic River, Dirty Harry, Magnum Force, The Gauntlet, Sudden Impact, Unforgiven, J. Edgar, Gran Torino, $1 Million Baby, and of course, Trouble with the Curve. And now he's doing The American Sniper, which is a movie I'm dying to see. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm dying to see it. And that's going to be another Clint Eastwood classic. Perhaps his ultimate classic. Last but not least, who is it, folks? Say it with me. Alfred Hitchcock. No surprise there. Number 1, Psycho. The Birds, which one I saw when I was a kid, scared the heck out of me. There's just, the list goes on with him. But you got Marnie, which I actually like, North by Northwest. Vertigo, The Man Who Knew Too Much, The Trouble with Harry, Rear Window, Rope, Shadow of a Doubt, Saboteur. They're all classics. So he's number 1, guys. What's your list look like? Let me know. Thanks for watching.